Welcome to lab. This week we are going to work on your distance refraction sequence. Distance refraction videos are available that take you through the entire sequence, once on the manual and then a second video showing the whole distance refraction sequence on an automated phoropter. I also want to talk a little bit about the distance refraction proficiency that's coming up. So we are going to hold all the distance refraction proficiencies in room 312, the lab room that we've been working in all semester. But within that lab room, keep in mind that the proficiency could be on any of the phoropters in there. During retinoscopy, we are going to have tape or post-it notes covering the spherical lens wells. Once you've completed retinoscopy, you can check your VAs. If you have 20/30 or better, remove the tape, record your findings, and move on. The instructors, myself, and the TAs will be verifying your retinoscopy findings in the middle of the distance refraction proficiency. I promise you we won't take long, but do account for the fact that we will take about 30 seconds and verify your results. We are not going to be taking the time to neutralize the patient's prescription exactly. We are just going to be looking very quickly to see whether you are within the acceptable parameters. If you get VAs that are worse than 20/30 and you want to repeat retinoscopy, if you have not removed the tape, you can repeat retinoscopy and still get the points for that skill. If you've removed the tape over the spherical wells, then you can still repeat retinoscopy, but it will not be for points. And you do need to achieve 20/30 or better before moving on. On the day of the distance refraction proficiency, I will post the schedules by 12:30. You'll be assigned for a half an hour slot during your lab time. Please arrive 10 minutes before your scheduled time and be ready with your laptop and all the equipment you need. Once we call you into the room, you'll have 2 minutes to prepare your equipment and get ready in the lane that you're assigned to. The power and the sphere wells will be covered on all the phoropters during retinoscopy, and there'll be somewhere between plus and minus 2 diopters of power in there. It won't be excessive, but it won't be starting from plano. You can ask your patient for their PD before time starts, but we don't actually want you to enter the PD, clean any of the equipment, or move it into place before the 15-minute time starts on the distance refraction proficiency. On the day of the proficiency, make sure that you are not wearing contact lenses. It just takes too long to deal with that. If there is some reason that you're unable to perform as the doctor for the proficiency with spectacles, that you need contact lenses, please send me an email. We will make exceptions on a case-by-case basis if necessary, but you need to contact me beforehand. We will not be stopping the 15-minute timer except if there's an instrument malfunction. We've had a couple of things go wrong in lab, as you all know, so we will be aware of that. But if it's simply something that you're not understanding about how the equipment works, we will not be stopping the time. It's only going to be stopped if there is an actual instrument malfunction. If you think something's gone wrong with the equipment and your grader does not, then they will not be stopping the time. It's very important that you verbalize the lighting for each test as you would change it. So that should be laid out in the proficiency rubric. Take a look, make sure that you are ready to verbalize when you would change the lighting. When you are sitting as a patient, it's really important that you do not do anything extra to help the student that's doing the proficiency. If you do something to try to help the student doctor, you run the risk of failing the proficiency yourself. In general, it's important to be professional during lab time, but especially on a proficiency, as a student doctor, I need you to act and dress professionally and treat everybody in the room and all the equipment in the room respectfully during the entire time. I've already spoken to some students about them being blacklisted as patients for this distance refraction sequence. It may be because they have amblyopia, or maybe they're an excessively latent hyperope, or they have some other ocular anomaly that makes them a difficult patient for this initial distance refraction proficiency. If that's your situation and we haven't spoken yet, and you believe that you should be blacklisted for sitting as a patient for this proficiency, please alert me. We don't want someone to end up with an unduly difficult patient for this distance refraction proficiency. Your assignment for next week is going to be the refractive sequence on 4 lab partners. I'm going to have you do the sequence from retinoscopy all the way through to BSBVA. I'm not going to require you to do keratometry for this assignment, so just 4 patients, 2 on manual phoropters, 2 sequences done on the automated phoropters, no keratometry necessary, retinoscopy through BSBVA on 4 lab partners. To review recording, you're going to do retinoscopy, check monocular VAs, and record that as a solo entry. You're going to do a 20/40 blur that does not need to be recorded. And then you're going to do bichrome. If the patient fails bichrome, you'll follow up with an MSBVA and you'll record that as a solo entry. No need to worry about equivalent sphere because it hasn't come into play at that time yet. Then you're going to do JCC, a 20/40 blur that doesn't need to be recorded, and then repeat a spherical monocular refinement test, this time the MSBVA. Check your monocular VAs and record that JCC and the second monocular spherical refinement test, the MSBVA, together with the VAs. Then you're going to do a 20/40 blur, your distance equalization, record those in the comments or the notes section, and then complete the refractive sequence with the BSBVA, and this time check your VAs OD, OS, and OU. You'll record the OU VA with the BSBVA under the type. All that should be recorded in Epic. You're going to complete that on 4 patients, twice using a manual phoropter and twice using one of the automated phoropters. I'm looking forward to having a great lab putting this distance refraction sequence together with you.